It's never too late to learn anything. Life is too short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are gay, so the
can do anything.
opportunities are endless.
Okay, exactly.
Right? You're gay, right?
Exactly. From time to time.
Okay.
From time to time. Yeah.
Do you identify as gay?
I do identify as gay.
Me too.
mean, I'm kind of just about
Love.
whatever the
Yeah.
energy is that I'm getting from the person. I accept love from any kind of person.
Yeah.
Wherever it's coming from. I'm Alex Joliker. I am a personal trainer. You might know me from such hits as The Party by Osmanoff,
Sure.
which is one of the top queer parties in LA. We've been going on for like almost a decade now.
Wow.
We're all about, creating community
Yeah.
that, puts queer people of color and trans people and lesbian and everyone who feels like othered.
A safe space.
Most like, yeah, it's creating a safe space for our people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just really great to give you the space to, be whatever person
Yeah.
character you want to be that night,
For sure.
and wear whatever you want to wear and
Makes it more
serve whatever
fun.
fantasy you
Yeah,
want to serve for that
exactly.
moment,
So you're 36, right? I'm 35.
37.
37. So you
37.
grew up then, and you started probably going out a little bit before social media became so dominant. 'Cause that's how it was for me. But I started going out when I was a bit too young. So my first gay bar was like 15.
Oh, really? Work.
Yeah. I went to Tiger Heat at like 17.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
bad boy.
Yeah. I remember
But
that.
like, do you remember going out in a time where like, I don't know, actually, where are you from?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to a gay bar in Connecticut?
So I grew up in a like very conservative Southern Baptist Caribbean family.
Wow.
And so it was just like layers and layers of just like conservative,
Tradition.
very like traditional, very like homophobic,
Yeah.
stressful like kind of space where
Yeah.
so I kind of learned how to like number one, like live my gay part of my life very much in the shadows, and also just like splinter my personality between like, my Caribbean side and my American side and my
Sure.
church side, and then
Wow.
my like in the street side.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
different characters.
it was like
personalities.
which if you can imagine is
Yeah.
very stressful because
Stressful.
you have to be like
Mhm.
very careful about hiding
Yes,
things. I
yes.
learned to be like a very good liar
Right.
very, very young.
Yep.
To like make sure that I wasn't
Yeah.
caught. So anytime I did go to like any like gay spaces, I was going very far away and I was like looking around. And I learned to
Are
be
there
like
any
very
cameras?
aware of like my
Yeah.
surroundings.
Sure.
And, the one of the first times I went to a gay bar in New Haven, Connecticut, I ran into my ex-girlfriend.
Oh shit.
And she was like, I knew it. By that time, she'd already come out as a lesbian.
Oh,
Wow.
my
So,
God. So
she was like, I always knew it. I knew it. And I
Did
was
you
like,
say the same?
I was like, first of all,
What are you
miss,
doing here?
I'm not gay. I'm here for one of my straight friends, for my
Right.
little gay friends. I was like very, very deep in the closet.
Oh,
so,
really? You denied?
Yeah. No, I fully denied it, and I was, living. I mean, I would kind of like experiment when I would go to New York, and I worked in the city, and I worked in like fashion PR and model cast and stuff like
Wow.
that. So I was around gay people, and I was just kind of like, just loving it, just loving just seeing gays.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized at some point, like, I need to like get away from the East Coast
Yeah.
and find a space where I can kind of learn to be myself
Yeah.
and learn to have boundaries
Yeah.
and learn to, unlearn a lot of things that I learned, a lot of like internalized homophobia,
for sure.
and, find the ability to be in my Americanness and in my Blackness and, actually just like be a separate person,
Yeah.
I feel like being gay is very stressful since young age.
It's stressful as hell.
We have to deal with lies, right? We have to pretend that we
Yeah.
are straight. We have to change our voice. We have to change our manners. We have to like think about every single thing that we do so people are not finding out what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then when someone confronts you, you have to lie, you have to deny, you have to
exactly.
bring excuses and justifications. And it's really hard. It's so much better to be yourself and to just be like,
It's a relief.
I am who I am. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, I felt like we were moving in a place where, I mean, and we still might be. You never know with what the news is presenting to us, but I thought we were moving in a direction where kids wouldn't have to be so anxious about who they are so early in their lives. Like, I mean, look at us. I mean, yeah, we're doing great now, but imagine if we could have not had to deal with so much bad. I mean, I'm still learning to not be paranoid about looking around when I go to a bar, like who's going to see me. We still hold on to those things that are really hard to shake. I mean, I very much relate to your story. I grew up in a Christian conservative family and, you know, fracturing my personality and what I wanted to show to who. And I was an only child. So very like, I don't want to say I never felt lonely, but very alone. So as soon as I met like my first like gay friend and knew there was a community, whether they were like sacrificing animals at the beach or at a bar, where I was going to be there because I wanted to be with my community, and I didn't feel any of that in my day to day. And so I would escape to Orlando, which is like a couple hours from where I lived, and every night I would go out there. It would be popping because Orlando was like a thriving place to be, but also there was no social media. So to meet people, you had to go out.
Right.
And every night I did, I could be a completely different person. I didn't live in the city. Right. But even then, like, even when I was like, I literally would make up a name every night I would go out and like a different occupation, because you're already a good liar. I was already like able to like whip that out, but it was so much fun to go out and like have
whoever
concern of like needing to be somebody for someone else. I could just be myself and do whatever I wanted.
Were you out and like hooking up and like being gay and making out with guys and like doing everything?
Yeah, it took me a minute, but as soon as I got,
were you at that point?
16.
Okay. It took you a minute. Or it took you a few nights.
You know, I warmed up to the idea quickly.
Yeah.
And you know, in the gay community, for me at that young, I thought that making friends and friend plus was like basically the same thing. And I'm sure we all go through that, where it's like, I like you, you like me, we're both attracted to each other, we have things in common, let's like that's probably not the most appropriate way of going about making friends, but at 16 you don't really know anything different. So
I mean, I will say on two fronts. Number one, I mean, I love like friends. Like if I have friends that like I have the ability to like also be physical with, or you know, sometimes we just like make out on the dance floor or whatever it is, and us just be friends. And you know, I also have friends when that's not the thing, not the case. You know, I also think, all that gay shit aside, that I feel like a lot of us gays don't know how to pursue friendships. Don't know how to pursue relationships when it's not sexual or like a relationship. Like if there's not going to be like a at the end of what we're doing, they don't know how to pursue it. And people need to pursue, even if it's like a friendship, you need to be able to like let that person know that like you care about them as a friend. Like do things, go out of your way to like call your friends, see how they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? It sounds so kooky, but like I feel like lately I've been enjoying becoming friends with straight people again. Because
there's no like, you know, the expectations.
I'm like, you just like me for me. You don't want to me, you know? It would sound like so silly, but I'm like, when I like talk to like straight guys at the gym, we'll have a conversation and we'll just talk about like music or like some TV show, and I like they'll like walk away and I'm like, I feel like I'm like on the playground with like little kid, like so I make second friend. It was so nice, you know. It's so random.
I think that the reason for that is because we suffered trauma from our childhood. We never had like true friends. At least for me, I always lied to even my closest friends that I was gay, or you know, that I had a crush on somebody. So I could never be fully myself to even the closest people. So I have a trauma of like making friends, making real connections, and I feel like most of us gay have that. And to make friends as an adult, there's always like that intention of like, oh, is it
going to be more than friends?
Exactly,
what do you really want out of this situation? And I think what's interesting too, when a straight person now, like, or we become friends with straight people, like you mentioned, in childhood, there's so much we can't tell them. Now they obviously see us. They know we're gay. And they still want to be our friend. And we're like, oh, we can make straight friends. I will say too, like, coming from a conservative state, when it's a less conservative vibe, I feel like making straight friends is a little easier. But for me, when I'm in a conservative environment in my head, I like shut it down. I'm like, I don't even want to risk the interaction. But here in LA, everyone's open-minded, right? So like,
it's a very different space.
It's completely different. Like, I mean, every person that we encounter obviously can tell we're gay. And
even the ones who are not gay are open-minded. Like
the other
day
I only hang out with really straight fierce straight people.
The other day we were hanging out with a group of friends. Some were gay, some were straight, and we were having a conversation with this guy for like almost an hour.
Yeah.
And then we obviously assumed that he was gay because
he's talking to us.
Talking to us for so long.
Why are you talking to me?
And then at some point of the conversation, he mentioned his girlfriend. We're like, wait, what? Your girlfriend? Yeah. What do you mean? And he was like, no, I'm straight. I said, really? And why are you talking to us?
Yeah.
What do you want?
What do you want?
Okay.
It's like you said, it's that pure connection with people.
And learning to like be okay and like allow people to just want to connect with you.
Your authentic self.
Yeah, and I think that's something I'm still learning as well. Interestingly enough, I think it took me getting in a relationship to really start to make good gay friends because, like I mentioned, in the past, as a straight person, like I would make a friend and either at some point one of us would want to move further and then the friendship becomes confusing. Yeah. And at least that was my experience. Granted, I was younger at the time, but I literally had like written off making friends before we even started dating because I'm like, every friend I make, like either I want to fuck them. But me too, right? Like I'm definitely just as guilty. And so it just becomes really complicated. And then when you're with someone, it's like, oh, there's clear boundaries when I meet someone right away. So that right away, we know this can be sent one direction only, and it's just been a lot easier
more
to make
clear.
Friends.
I used to be the person in the group who would always be bringing like straggle-alongs to the group, like because I was just trying to be friends with everybody.
Sure,
I just loved making friends. I would just become friends with anybody.
Yep.
And then after a while, I was just like, I just have so much drama and craziness in my life. So many crazy people.
Yeah.
I need to start like seeing the red flags because I feel like sometimes we're good at spotting like red flags in like someone we're trying to date.
Sure.
But like
friendships are harder.
Those red flags are in friendships as well.
Yeah.
You know, we not only like fuck boys, we like become friends with boys as well.
Yeah.
True.
You know,
you become one.
You know, after a while, surround yourself. You have to just like be very conscious of like everyone who's around you.
Sure.
Because that's gonna impact what your experience in this place is going to be.
Yeah.
You know?
I think whenever, it's funny, I'm just thinking of this now, but before we started dating, I was going through this like anti-friend phase because very similarly, I had just either tried to be a people pleaser, tried to hang out with too many people, be friends with everyone. None of that was working. And then I just wasn't seeing red flags, right? And so when I cut out that for that moment, I realized how much free time I had, how much energy I had to spend, and so I started putting it into my career. You just cut out all
your friends altogether?
Literally, pretty much. I mean, it's not that but to be honest with you, it's not like I had great friends at the moment, right?
So
like,
what kind of drama were you getting into with
it was more like, you know, he likes this guy, but this guy likes this guy, and now we're all going to hate him because that's my guy, and I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
Were you the Regina Georgia in your friend group?
I wish. I wish. I was more.
Did someone try to hit you with a bus?
I was more like she punched me in the face and I liked it. That was my character. Okay. So, but after I like realized though that you can like cut out negativity from your life.
Oh yeah.
I started pinpointing it in all the other places that I could cut it out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what your relationship was like with your family, but that actually ended up showing me that for me, I had to cut out my family. It was just a more toxic relationship than anyone else that I was dealing with. Do you close with your family?
I mean, it's been complicated in the past. I grew up like very, very, very close to my family. We're like, you know, Haitian people, you're with your family or you're with your church people.
Sure.
Like that's it. That's all you hang out with. You don't really hang out with school people or neighborhood people. It's really just that's it. And my mom and dad and like my aunts and uncles, they're all just like very strict. So, you know, my cousins and I, we all just became really best friends, you know? And, you know, when I came out, it was hard. I mean, it was very hard for my parents
to like. How did you come out?
It was a text message. It was it was one of those text messages that was so long you have to like click on it to expand and it looks like a scroll.
Yeah. You send it to your parents?
Well, my mom had been she like saw that I was living in West Hollywood, and I guess by like
you came out
automatically. She was doing some research at night and was like, hold on a second. And she texted me a message, you know, about how I'd like, you know, pitched my tent at the foot of Sodom and Gomorrah, and she was just freaking out about, you know, I'm going to hell, and
fear.
You know, it was a lot of fear. You know, she's probably afraid of my safety, my and you know, Haitian culture. The worst thing you can do is
for sure
have someone think you're gay.
Yes,
you know,
sure.
And the Christian community that I was in, where you know my youth group, I went to Christian school, Christian college, and it was just kind of like the worst thing for them. It took them a long time to kind of like remember, like, number one, they love their son.
Yeah.
And I mean, at first it was kind of like, we love you, but like you can't do these things, and we don't want to like know about these things. And,
Wow.
and it kind of felt like I was just kind of like giving up to the world,
Yeah.
you know. And I was, you know, really depressed, and I kind of I was trying a lot to like get the approval of my family, and I realized that was never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So then I kind of decided to start creating family with people here and my nightlife family and my family in Los Angeles. And I had found people who were able to like love me as I am and encourage me to like be the person who I am and find confidence in who I am. And that gave me the ability to like, you know, tell my family like, okay, like we can't really have a relationship unless you are doing the work for us to have a relationship. And you can't fully love me unless you fully know me.
So when you came out, how old were you?
Like 25, 26.
And when you had this conversation, how old were you?
It was like a few years later.
Sure,
it was this process was like took years.
Exactly. That's what I want to
explain. It was a long
so
process. Like from where we came, it was really, really, really bad. When I remember used to seeing people talk about that, like it gets better, and I was like,
wow,
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, because it is never gonna get better.
It's never gonna get better.
Like the relationship that I have with my parents now, I never thought I would be able to have.
Really?
It.
Wow.
And like it's still something that like is still growing, still developing, but like, you know, they started going to therapy as well.
Wow.
And
huge.
And they are people who are open to growing
Wow.
and understanding more.
That's
you know,
amazing.
which is, you know,
that's really, I mean, the main thing to ask for, right? Is, are you willing to listen to my point of view?
Exactly.
Are you willing to do some work to just try and meet me where I'm at? You don't have to understand the world the way that I do, but you do have to see that I understand the world this way, and that's more than okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that you need to respect, as I respect you for going to church and your ceremonial practices, you know?
Yeah.
Are you dating anyone?
I'm definitely not dating anybody.
Definitely.
I'm putting in a lot of effort into friendships that I enjoy.
Good.
You know, and deepening certain ones more than others, but friendship really. You know, and I feel like I really go on first dates that like lead to second dates.
Yeah.
All the guys who I've dated have always been people who were friends that we just end up dating. You know what I mean? Someone who I like. When we start dating, I already know them. I already like them. I know that what they're like. I know what, you know what I mean? I know what they're like in an argument. I feel like a lot of people, they end up dating people who they see someone, they're like, you're hot, you fit into my idea of what my fantasy is, and then you start dating somebody, and then your boyfriend ends up doing something really crazy to you, and you're like surprised, and it's because you don't know that person.
Right.
You know?
For sure, you've fantasized. You've created a whole backstory of who they are and how they're going to complement your life, but you didn't really like open your eyes to who they were. And I could totally relate to that. As a teenager, 20-year-old, 20-plus-year-old, that's how I was meeting people as well. You're like, because you're also so eager to find that person. Course. We all are. If you're single and you're dating and actively looking to find someone, you're like eager to make it work, and sometimes that creates a lot of
made
fog.
a lot of things work when we were younger that we didn't need to.
And you see those red flags and then you completely ignore, right? And then you go into like a relationship that is long and it doesn't take you anywhere because people keep doing the same thing over and over again.
I mean, those are great learning experiences, you know. I've had a lot of like you know, crazier relationships when I was younger. A lot of long distance relationships, but just like my first couple relationships, it was like we were always like arguing, screaming in the streets, and just being wild. But it was always like we were just so like addicted to each other, you know.
And when you're so young too, and there's all these things that we're carrying around with us that we have so much like love or energy to like, give to someone, and you're like, why don't you love me? I've waited so long.
Exactly. And I also didn't have any like emotional regulation at that point in my life.
Who does?
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Boundaries, one of those. And so now, I mean, like my standards are so much higher than what they were before.
Right.
So now I can like see those red flags, and I'm not gonna date someone unless I know it's like what I need to be doing. And I remember recently I was recently I was like hanging out with a guy, and we were just so connecting and having such a great moment, and like I was like, damn, this man's about to be my next boyfriend. Like he is really like he was just so
the vibe
hot.
was there,
and the vibe was there. It was like giving me. I was like, wow, we were connecting so fast. And then we went out, and he was such a. Can I say?
Yeah, you can say.
Can I say?
You can say 3 times.
Say all the words.
If you say 3 times, something.
The fairy comes down from the.
Well, he was such a see you next Tuesday, and he like he liked hanging out with me, but hated everybody else, and I was like, I've dated this exact person like 4 times.
Wow.
I cannot do this again.
No.
And this time I had to be like, okay, let me just.
You know what that person does? They come and scoop you out of your friend circle, alienate you, and then you're there for years. And then your friends are like, here he goes again. I've been there too.
In 2 years.
Yeah. So I was like,
like, wait, this is a habit, this is a trend. I'm seeing this issue, but that's the growth.
You can still have a really hot.
Hey,
but then you're like,
exactly. That's all this is.
But right? That's still just a hot. You have your boundaries, your limits. That.
And then you can be friends and like go to a concert together. But like, I'm not gonna expect you to like.
Right. And people can grow over time, right? Like maybe 5 years from now, maybe you'll see him again. You're like,
over there.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not into helping anybody grow anymore.
But when you meet again, then you're on the same page. Who knows what could happen?
Maybe. I feel like we need to bring back like being able to like ghost people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because like for example,
is valuable.
Time is valuable, and a lot of these men, they don't respect what you say anyway. There was another guy who similarly he'll like on my grind. He's been like woofing me or like beeping me, scruffing me, whatever, for like 10 years. 10 full years. And I'll like block him, he'll come back, block him, come back. And for literally 10 years he's been doing it.
That's basically a relationship.
Finally I was like, okay, I need to like be more clear and decisive and like have my boundaries and tell him what it is. And I'm like,
you know
what?
Hey.
You know what, bitch?
Leave me
alone, bitch! And I said it. I also kind of didn't want to say anything because I felt that maybe it might be like a killer, and it might be like, show up at my house and like kill me. Because I see him sometimes in the streets, and I'm like, oh my god.
Really? You should have blocked him though.
Shout out.
But then I actually said like, hey, I'm not interested. Thank you very much. Didn't say anything. I blocked. I was like, okay, wow. I feel like that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, he messaged me again. So it's kind of like at this point,
maybe you need to give him a chance.
No.
I think at this point,
the universe is just saying,
just like go for it. Maybe it's perfect for you.
And we never saw Alex again.
I like a man that shows effort.
Hey,
he doesn't give up.
10 years.
I mean. It's like it's harassment. I mean, I know it's kind of like a tiny degree of like what women experience all the time.
For sure.
Yes. So I'm like, okay,
this is
it's not as bad as it can be or it has been for other people, but it's annoying as hell.
So you're a fan of Drag Race.
I am.
So RuPaul says, he said a few times, this is one of my favorite quotes because it just talks about how in our community, yes, we try to be wholesome. We try to love each other. We try our best. And the reality is it's not the case. Yeah. We have a lot of issues that we should be talking about and working on within our own community so that we can move past that.
Yeah.
So he talks about how, as a younger person, a person who is reaching for fame, he says, the white people say I was too black for them. The black people say I was too white for them or too gay for them. The gay people say I was too femme for them.
Yeah.
Has that ever been something that I relate to pieces of that, but I'm not a black man, so there's a large piece I don't.
Yeah.
Do you relate to having to deal with that, especially with your Caribbean roots, Christian roots?
For sure. Coming from Connecticut, space that was like predominantly white.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to like private Christian school that was like mostly white.
Wow.
In my class we had like there were like 3 of us like black men, guys, boys.
Wow.
It was I switched schools a lot, but it was kind of like wherever I was, like
the minority.
I number one, I was Haitian, and I was did not act like an American, so that made me weird.
Wow.
And for the white people, I was obviously not white, and so that was always just something that I felt had so much racism that I dealt with from like teachers, from students.
Crazy.
I just felt like where I was living, at that time, there was just such a narrow-minded idea of like what I could be and who I could be.
Sure.
It was kind of like, if you're Black, you are either preppy, you're giving like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or like you're like 50 Cent, or you're like P. Diddy. You know what I mean? It's like, you're this or you're that. And if you're not, then you must be a fat.
Right.
You know? And
100%.
growing up, it was just like, people just didn't know what to make of me. And I just got the shit bullied out of me. You know, where I have like an actual like website that was created to just like make fun of me, that like someone sent me on Facebook being like, hey, you should come chat with us. And I clicked on it, and it was like a full website that was made where people were like taking like pictures of me, and
they
like,
really love you.
It was probably one
obsessed with me.
one
People
person.
obsessed with me.
Yes.
You
Why
know?
are you so obsessed with me?
Do you know why? Because you were being yourself.
Yes.
You know, and
you were
was,
like, I'm going to do what I want to do, despite the fact that I have to dress this way to leave my house. All the people who look similar skin tone to me are going to hate me even more than they already do. The other people who are in this community don't want me here, but I want to be here. And I'm going to sit here.
I mean, anyway.
It's like,
people, they either are attracted to that type of confidence, or they want to punish it. You know what I mean?
And where I was, it was like, we hate this. And get out of here.
Crazy.
And so I kind of was just like, you know, I needed to be someplace where, in my senior year in high school, we did Beauty and the Beast, and you know, we at our school play, and I used to sing that song, there must be more than this provincial life. I used to sing that every day when I was riding around, because I just felt like I need to get the fuck out of here.
For you,
I was Belle as
That's your
Belle
princess.
as hell.
Belle as hell.
I related to that girl like so deeply. I just
Yeah.
felt like I need to get out of here. I need to be doing something more. You know, that's why I started working like in fashion. That's why I started finding people who I enjoyed working in fashion. I kind of got my start working on. I would get, my uncle was like NYPD, so he would get me onto like red carpets of different like events, award shows.
Wow.
And I would have my phone, and I would pretend to be like a reporter, and I would meet people.
That works.
Whether it was like Fashion Rocks or, you know, New York Fashion Week, I would go to Fashion Week every single year, and I would like interview people on the red carpet and talk to people. And I was like, this is Alex Joliger from Toast of Today. That was my blog that I ran at the time. And I would just like, you know, until I actually like got a job working in like fashion PR and like started doing all that stuff.
Amazing.
I was just kind of doing it on my own.
Crazy.
And finding spaces where people were like, you know, it's fine to be different.
Yeah.
You do whatever the fuck you want to do, be who you want to be, which is why, you know, in creating and working, doing Ospinoff, you know,
you got to change that mentality.
So important, you know, to like create a space where everyone can come and feel like this is my space where I can feel valued, where I'm going to be pursued, where I can wear whatever hell I want to wear. You know, if you want to wear, you know, like leather, you want to wear lace, you want to wear a little lingerie, you want to wear a little pup mask, put that pup mask on, you find a little pup friend on the dance floor, you know, and you'll find people who I mean, the party's like therapy for so many people, because we find people who see you and like love you as you are, and you as your authentic self,
and are there to celebrate the night and
celebrate
this moment.
And
be in the moment.
And be in the moment. That's one of my like mantras. Is never leave fun for fun. And I kind of made that up when I was in the middle of COVID. And it's kind of the idea that like, if you're in a space where like you're having fun with people, you're enjoying with who you're around,
there's nothing better.
Don't go to the next party.
Right.
Stay where you are. Be with who you are.
Put your phone down.
Put your phone down.
Be with the fun.
Enjoy the present.
Don't leave fun for fun. Be with who you are. Are you connecting with who you are? If not, then
don't change anything.
But you don't need to leave, because you know what? You might go somewhere else in the next place.
It usually is.
You know?
Most of the time.
That's what happened the first time. I only go to parties where like it's gonna be good vibes, fun people who you want to be around, who you want to like talk to.
So what we should do is we should go to the party.
Yeah.
We should have you come back, and then we should talk about the party.
A debrief.
Yeah.
A
Do
debrief
that.
on like what we've learned, what we've taken from the space,
where we've gone, where we've been. It'll be a spring vibe. We'll do like a spring,
a
follow up, or refresh.
Spring fling.
Because I feel like you two have definitely the potential to meet pretty good friends in these spaces. I mean, granted,
Let's do it.
Some of these people are trash, you know, but
aren't they everywhere?
I've met some people who've become like my actual family in these spaces.
Yes.
And people who like really come through and support me, and I support them, and like there's really love for each other, you know, that I didn't expect to have, that I'm very grateful to have, you know.
It can happen. Even
and
at the nightclub.
It does happen, you know. We find love on the dance floor, you know.
Yeah.
And even if it's the love of a friend, you know.
Exactly.
Well, we have to wrap up. I'm so sorry. I know I'm like cutting you off.
I love that. Don't play the music. Don't play the music. Don't play me out.
We're gonna have you back after the party, and then we
wait.
can tell the people what we wore to the theme.
Okay, exactly.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. I'll be back anytime.
We're gonna have so much
Well,
fun.
you're gonna be back. We're gonna be back.